Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome to another video on the channel. In today's video, we are going to be looking at something very important that often people just copy blindly or ignore, don't change a lot, or just don't understand very well at all in terms of the depth of them and how powerful they can be. We're going to be looking in depth at the player instructions on FIFA 23. Now, with my custom tactics and player instructions, I always try to tell people I try explain the tactic and instructions and try help people learn the game, not just see a tactic, copy it and try plug it in. Because I feel like if you understand the tactic and instructions, it's a lot easier to then take it, use it, and play better with it. Whereas if you don't understand what you're using, you're probably not going to perform as well with it. So I'm always trying to educate you guys, help you understand the game better. But player instructions, there's some that are really important in my opinion, and there's some that don't really do a lot at all. So in this video, we're going to break down all the player instructions. So hopefully by the end of the video, you'll have a much better understanding about tactics, how they work with player instructions, how different formations work with player instructions, and in turn, it'll help you play better because you'll understand what your opponent might be doing, but then you'll start to be able to create new things, maybe change your play style, tweak stuff. When I release tactics that I think you could just copy and play really well with, but a lot of the time I do encourage tweak something. Sometimes there might be an instruction like, no, this is vital, it needs to stay like this, but then there's some instructions or slight tweaks on the actual custom tactics bit that you could change up, and it could help you guys out. You don't need to just copy a YouTuber exactly what they do, but you can take bits and build on it. So let's go look at the custom tactics. So when we look at them, we've obviously got these tactics here. We're going to be looking at specific player instructions. There's different player instructions for each position. So we're going to start from the keeper. Saving on crosses, I would always go for comes for crosses over cautious for crosses. I don't really think this actually does a lot though. Quite often I forget to change the keeper. I might have it on balance, and then I'm like, oh, I haven't really noticed a difference. With this one as well, sweeper keeper or balanced, I would probably be going sweeper keeper just logically. That sounds better. Through balls are good on FIFA. Keepers don't really rush out on this game without you telling them to, unless they're guaranteed to get the ball. So I'd imagine sweeper keeper would be better. But again, I don't really think you can notice too much what actually happens when it comes to the keepers. So for me, my opinion is the keeper instructions don't really matter. Now for fullbacks, I think they're the exact same as wingbacks, so we don't need to look at formation wingbacks. Fullbacks is very dependent, in my opinion, on two things: how attacking you want the formation to be, and how much width the formation has. So in a formation like the 4-4-2, where you've got a left mid and right mid already giving you width, there's no need, in my opinion, to have fullbacks who are really attacking. In a formation like the 4-1-2-1-2, so the narrow diamond version of it, you need the fullbacks to give you width, because if you don't have width on this game, it kills you in the attack. It makes you so much more predictable. It's just so much easier to play against and defend. So you need your instructions to give you width. In certain formations of 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, 4-2-2, I pretty much exclusively put my fullbacks on stay back while attacking. Makes them less vulnerable to counterattacks. They will at times, of course, get forward. I'm not saying that they never get forward and you never want to do anything with them. However, I would just say that... Sorry, I'm just messing with my mouse. It's being weird. I would say that in those formations, you don't get as much benefit on them attacking because they're just occupying space that other players are getting width from anywhere. When it comes to formations where they are pushing up, they can get you a lot of width. It just leaves you a bit vulnerable. I normally go a balanced attack if I'm going to make my fullbacks more attacking. Join the attacks a bit too much, but in a very attacking formation, you could go that. I don't think the interceptions does much at all in terms of noticeable in game, other than really change the stamina a bit. I just leave it on default. I never change this. For the run type, I've never tried fullbacks on inverted. It doesn't really make sense to me. I put overlap sometimes in more aggressive ones. And then for the position, I only ever use step up in my all-out attack, constant pressure, to be a bit more aggressive. For the defenders, it's very simple. You don't really ever want to put join the attack or play a striker. We've already talked about interceptions. And then, like I say, step up I use in a very aggressive one. We've got a CDM here. So CDMs have slightly different instructions to centre mids. For CDMs, you've got on... I think, do midfielders have this? No, they don't. you have defensive behaviour, cut passing lanes, balanced on man mark. I don't think you ever want a player to be exclusively marking one player, so I never put man mark. Maybe if you was playing someone who was playing like 4-2-3-1 and you had one CDM and they have one cam, you could do this and hope he man marks the cam in particular. But I don't think that generally you can rely on that or even that consistent. Cut passing lanes, however, is what most pros tend to use because cutting passing lanes, defending that way, is generally the best way to defend on FIFA. You could use balance, but I tend to use cut passing lanes. For the attacking support, it again depends on the formation. In this formation, where I've got very attacking, I put my centre mids getting forward a bit more. I want the CDM to stay back. In the 4-2-2, I tend to play it where my in the 4-2-2, I tend to play it so my my one CDM's defensive, one centre mid CDM's more attacking. So one will be on stay back, one will be on balanced. You tend to balance this based on what the formation needs and on the player. So if it's Vieira, you're not going to get much benefit from him getting forward because he's not very good getting forward. You want the more defensive-minded player to be on stay back, and then if it's like a two-man one where you want one to get forward more, you put them on balance. Drop between defenders just basically makes them play like a centre-back. I don't really see much benefit in that. Interceptions, same for every position. Drift wide or deep line playmaker. I don't see much benefit in putting drift wide on a CDM. Deep line playmaker, I've tried. It just seems to put them out of position a bit. It doesn't seem that effective. It's a new instruction they added this year. Cover centre or cover wing. If my fullbacks are going to push up, so my fullbacks are going to be super attacking, I might put cover wing on CDMs. However, in a one CDM formation where he's the anchor man, I always put them on cover centre because I want them to stay in the middle of the pitch. So the mids, you do get this attacking support option. It's very similar. No, yeah, sorry, it is the exact same. It's the exact same as CDM one, just in a different position because you don't have the defensive behaviour. So on this one, again, I don't know why you'd want a centre mid to drop back between the defenders. It's the exact same then, except for free roam instead of deep line playmaker. Free roam just seems to put players in weird positions, so I always pretty much put stick to position on centre mids. You do have support on crosses as well. In very attacking formations where you want your centre mids to really bomb forward, get into the box is an option. Stay on edge of the box, maybe for more of a possession one. This is a centre forward, but it's the same as a striker in terms of the options. You've got stay central, drift wide, or balance width. I don't really see much benefit in telling your striker to drift wide. Maybe you could mess around and have centre mids bombing forward and wingers cutting inside and try and mix it up and make it hard for the opposition. I don't know, maybe that could be something that would be effective. However, in my opinion, I don't really think you want to be messing around too much with that. I think stay central or balance width. This is very obvious defensive support. Stay forward, basic, or come back. On attackers, I don't put comeback, so wingers, forwards, and strikers, I don't really put comeback on defense because it doesn't work. On a previous FIFA, I think it was FIFA 20. It was 20 or 19, but I'm going to go 20. I think people were able to come back on their attackers, and it was way too defensive. So EA basically made comeback on defense on attackers to not really do a lot. So you may as well put stay forward. For wingers, you've got that defensive support, same again. Cut inside, balance, stay wide, free roam. I've never really tried free roam too much. Not that effective to me. We didn't talk about attacking runs. We will talk about that in a sec, though. Cut inside, I quite like in a formation. So this one, I've got my fullbacks getting forward a bit more because there's quite a gap between them and the wingers. And then I put my wingers on cut inside so my fullbacks can give me the width and the wingers can occupy the middle. Getting behind is what it says. Makes runs in behind. I don't use this on a lot of formations. I use it in more aggressive ones where I'm trying to win the ball half the pitch. So I want my players to make runs straight away. Balanced or getting behind tend to be what I use. Come short, I don't really see why you'd use that on an attacker on this game. Target man doesn't seem to work very well. Maybe you could put it on a striker when you're using direct passing, but I've never really seen it work well. Crossing's the same. For the strikers, you do have the same options, except for false 9 instead of come short. False 9 just means they drop into midfield, and I've always found it to be really useless, so I wouldn't personally be using that. Some other options you've got, If we look at some of the formations, you've got wingers. They have the exact same, I think, as left mid, right mid have the exact same as wingers. You might want to stay wide in a formation like this, where you want a lot of width to come from the wingers, and then you want the strikers to occupy the middle. Another formation where you get a different option. This one with the cam. Cams have the defensive support and cross, all these. So generally, I stick to position on that. This one depends on how attacking it is. And then I always put comeback on defense on my midfield, unless it's a very attacking one, because I like my midfielders to get back to make me more defensively sturdy. In terms of the instructions that make a huge difference, the ones that you really need to think about. The fullbacks balanced or stay back, that makes a big difference. Stay back or balanced on the CDMs. The runs where you put getting behind or mixed attack and stay forward, they all make quite a big difference. One that's pretty good, I would say, is the defensive behaviour. I always put cut passing lanes on both my CDMs, so that's a pretty important one in my opinion. Those are the main ones, honestly. A lot of the others you can tweak and test stuff out. I don't think the tactics and instructions on FIFA are as good as they should be. I think they've arguably gone backwards over the years. There's lots that I would change if it was down to me, if I was working on a development team. But maybe also it is complicated and getting them to work in game, not breaks, bug stuff out. I don't know. I'm not a game developer, so I don't really know about that. That's just my opinion. I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully this has helped you understand instructions more. As always, thank you for watching. If you've got any questions or any videos you'd like to see me do, please let me know. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.